What is ascension? You hear so many people talking about it and all the hype and the books and the terminology, and I want to talk a little bit about my perception of what ascension is. This message is for people who are looking for answers. And for those of you out there who know what ascension is, I highly encourage you to step out and whatever your creative form is and express it. You may or may not agree necessarily with what I have to say, and I encourage you to speak your truth. The message that I keep getting with this topic and so many of the other topics on metaphysical science and whatever it is that we know, even if it's physical things that we know, is to speak about our truth, speak about what we know, and to share our story, share our side of the knowledge, because you will reach an audience that not everyone can. Yes, there may be people out there that are already doing it, but they are not going to reach those people that you were going to reach. That's something that I've been hearing more and more of as I've been trying to encourage myself to get out and do this myself, is there's already so many people out there doing this, but they don't see it or say it the exact way that you do. So that's why I'm here, talking about ascension, a topic that for many are very connected to already, and for some they're just trying to figure it out. And I want to take the time to talk a little bit about it. Welcome to my new space. I'm green, as you can tell. I work a little bit with color therapy. So some of the lights in my house are different colors. I've got a blue light in the bathroom, and I've got this green light, and depending on what energy center or what mood that I feel like I want to be in, I have different color lights, and I feel like it's a fun way to feed that wholeness of our healthy beings. So, ascension. I see humanity evolving. And I think this is something that's seen in the unseen world, and with some people who are tapped into that they can't understand, but they just know it, or they see it with their inner eyes, or they feel it, or they perceive it in some extrasensory perception type of way. And then there's other ways that are scientifically proving this theory. The thing that I turn back to, as you guys may start to get to know, is astrology. I think the planets are a huge reflection of our whole beings and how we're evolving. One of the things that I heard today is that, the more far out in space that we learn about, the more deep within us that we learn about. We are unlimited beings, and we go so deep. God's unlimited, and we are a fraction of what God is. We are a reflection. We are a little spark of the divine, a little flicker of light that is all that is. And, there are astrologers that have been working for over 30 years studying this field and watching the planets and the patterns, and there has not been anything as intense as this past 3 years of aspects and different planetary alignments that have happened and have caused major changes on the planet Earth. There was a Mercury and Sun conjunction that got together, and then there was an earthquake. I believe it was in Japan. I'll have to research that a little bit. Anyways, Suspicious Observers is a good channel to follow on YouTube if you want to follow a little bit more about. They're studying some theories about the connections of different planetary alignments or solar flares and how it affects the Earth's atmosphere and tectonic plates, as well as the body of the Earth. Anyways, really good way to see how it all ties in. But so many of these different alignments has not only affected the body of the Earth, but our bodies and our psyches as well, triggering past life events, so much clearing, doors have been closing and opening, and people have been awakening. I think that's really what this ascension is it's not, going to this place and getting out of this mess, but really coming to more of what we are and bringing that wholeness, that heaven on earth here, and holding that vibration and holding that thought. Christian Science talks about holding the thought that we are already whole. The life is already whole. It doesn't need to be fixed. It already is its purest essence because it is God. It is a reflection of God. It's just our perceptions and our own thoughts that have made it this way, our wrong thinking. So bringing that right thinking of, our higher nature or peaceful living to the now. I think that's sort of what the ascension is. Instead of us growing wings and flying off, we already have wings. It's about rooting to the ground with our wings and pulling everybody else up with us. I see ascension as the awakening to these higher realms of ourselves. I mean, all of these angels and guides and ascended masters and different dimensions, they are within us. So, becoming aware of that is ascending us. It's changing our vibration, because when you hold a different thought or you learn something new, it's like a computer system. When you upload a new file, it changes things a little bit. Your perception. I'm sure that you've read a book or an article or heard somebody say something or saw something visually one time and your life was never the same. It changes you. I think it's important for people to dedicate themselves to this path and to keep continuing on. Doing the work to open the doors as well as clearing the way to allow that to be embodied. I think that's a big important thing right now, is to embody this stuff. And it's so beautiful to know it and to feel it and to sense it, but to really live it and bring it into being, into this reality, is really important. So that's sort of a quick thing. I made this video because I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about the message of, people, encouraging people to share their story, share their perspective. It's important. And, I picked up my phone and looked at it, and it was, 5:55. And those are always little messages and little winks from the other side of, the inner parts of myself really being like, hey, getting my attention, like kind of bringing me back to the moment, being like, oh, whoa, when do you see synchronicities? Like, pay attention, like kind of bringing you back to the moment and reminding you that, what you're thinking is important, to do something about it, or just something that's guiding you. So to take action on that. And so I decided to make a video, and I would love to have your feedback. Leave any comments below. It'd be great to hear your perspective of ascension so that other people can read it, or questions you may have. Reach out. We're all here for each other, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Check out the green light. Yeah, yeah.